There was a philosopher which was by the name Candide, and he was traveling on a boat. He met with a old sage whose name is Martin. Now he started up a conversation. As you know, philosophers will not be quiet, and their stomachs are empty, but the brains are full. So he strikes a conversation with that old sage called Martin. He asks him, "Do you believe, Martin, that all the men have always massacred each other, and as they massacre today as well, all they have been always liars, scoundrels, thieves, hypocrites, and fools? Do you believe it?" he asks. Then Martin replies, the old sage Martin replies that, "Do you believe that whenever hawks come and they get pigeons, they eat it? Do you believe that hawks eat pigeons when they get a chance?" And Candide says, "Yeah, it does. Hawks do eat pigeons whenever they get a chance." Then if hawks have been like that, and hawks have never changed their character, why would you think humans would? Why would you think a man would change his character? His original character, by saying this, Martin thinks, is man's original nature has always been massacring others. He has always been thief, liar, hypocrite, bloody-minded, bloodthirsty, and whatnot, everything. Then comes the statement from Candide. He says, "Then I think this is not the conscious mind and the voice of God that is stopping man to do evil, but the police force which we have established. Unless we have, imagine a society without police or a government which rules and which has authority over you and punishes you if you do any wrong thing. Imagine a society without police. Imagine a society without government. Imagine a society without any rules. How would that society possibly be?" And that thing that I'm telling is not something happened recently, but it is of 20th century's philosophy. So if they back in 20th century think that it is police who was restricting people from going wild, it is not the conscience of brain or the voice of God which is restricting man to behave like wild beasts and be like humans. What does it mean to be human at primary stage? What is the core meaning of humanity then? What are we studying for? Someone said, if you give education to a person who is stealing nuts and bolts, he'll come out of the university and he'll plan to steal the entire railway track. Education system, all the knowledge and the wisdom that we are getting outside, and everything that we are puffed up with in our brains, do not mean anything if we are not rooted in some kind of conscience and some kind of moral responsibility that we need to have in our minds. And that is word of God. If we are not rooting our intellectual ability or our education or our thinking or anything of that sort into the scriptures, if we are not rooting it in the scriptures, it is evident not only to the philosophers of current times, where the crime rate has increased and the cruelty is evident. It is back in 20th century that philosophers have predicted that this is going to be happening to humanity if the thought is not rooted in the conscience and the word of God. And from where is it coming? It is coming from a theistic philosopher called Voltaire. He is not at least theistic. He is some kind of agnostic, coming here and there. But he seriously thinks and believes that People need to have a moral accountability, and without which humanity cannot survive.